Hey guys, Aaron here, just in case you thought it was Sean. Superheroes. We all love them because we wish we were them. We wish we had all those superhuman abilities, like flying, walking on walls, punching people really hard. If you had superpowers, what would they be? Well, normally you would want the best and most useful power. What are they? Well, I've made a list of what I think are the top 10 best superpowers in all.
No, I'm saying someone else.
Number 10, time travel with reversal. Now, this isn't regular time travel, like actually being in the past, because that would create too much paradoxes. Because if you go back in time and change something, then you wouldn't have needed to go on back in time to change that thing. But if you didn't go back in time, it would just... What I'm talking about is you can go in the past and mess things up, and then you can go back to the future and see how much things have changed. How badly you screwed up the world, or how good you made it. You can stop Galver Princeff from assassinating the Archduke of Austria, Franz Ferdinand. You can make Hitler be accepted into the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna when he was 17, and maybe that'll stop him from becoming Hitler. And then you can go in present day and see how good everything is. Or how bad it is because someone worse than Hitler actually conquered the world. And then you just snap right back and everything will be normal. With all the terrorist attacks and liberals and social justice. But there's new Star Wars movies coming out. There's a plus. Whoop! Number 9. Mind control. Now this means you can control other people's movements with your mind. You can make criminals surrender themselves. You could also make people dance. What? Number 8, strength. Oh yeah. You could lift up things like this easily. But be wary, because if you lift up something too heavy, you'll sink into the ground, because the ground can't support all this weight on your puny little feet. And since your leg muscles are really strong, you can jump farther as well. And when you punch your enemies, their head just disintegrates. Number 7, looking into the past. Now this isn't the same as time travel, because time travel, you're actually in the past. This is just looking into the past, seeing it as it really was. So beautiful! I can go back in time and see how this got here. I can go back in time and see one of these start. This power is really useful for solving crimes. So you go to the scene where the crime took place, go back in time to watch the crime happen, follow the criminal around until it's the present, and arrest him. Or you can go back in time and watch more personal stories like this. Hey guys, Sean here, and today I'm going to be doing all of my Thomas DVDs, there's more over here, and my VHSs. For my VHSs, not my VHSs, my DVDs, I have it in alphabetical order, so it starts with A Big Day for Thomas, and for my VHSs, I have it in order of my favorites. So let's get started. I have A Big Day for Thomas, A Very Thomas Christmas, Adventure Begins, Best of Gordon, Best of James, Best of Percy, Best of Thomas, Blue Mountain Mystery, Calling All Engines, Carnival Capers, It's Me! You could also use this power to look into the future. You can watch things that are for certain to happen, like movies, like you can watch The Incredibles 2 before it comes out. You can travel to April 8th, 2024 to watch the next solar eclipse, or January 21st, 2019 to watch the next lunar eclipse. But that future may no longer exist because the future is always changing. That future that you've just looked into is the future of a timeline where you didn't go into the future and looked at that future. So now, there's not going to be flying cars anytime soon. You're not going to colonize Pluto. Number 6, invincibility. I'm not talking about immortality, because in the long run you wouldn't really want immortality. I am talking about not being able to get hurt. You could jump off of something like this, and be just fine. You can jump off a mountain, roll down the hill, crack your head on a rock, and get up and keep on walking. Just like in video games. You can do this all you want, stab yourself. This is a dull knife. Number 5, time freezing. And I'm not talking about... Now, since time is frozen, nothing would move. Those fan blades, Sean wouldn't move. And if nothing could move while time was frozen, you would be frozen in place because the air around you wouldn't move and you would suffocate and die. So, when you're time frozen, only the stuff you touch move. So you would move the air molecules around you, other people, slowing down time. I'm talking about... What wasn't that moving? Why isn't the cat moving? What wasn't he... Where'd he go? Gah! Number 4. Flying! Now this is a superpower that I think most people would want to have. To see the world beneath you as you fly by it is something you can only dream of. You can go a lot more places than you could with your puny little legs. You could fly anywhere in the world. You would just have to spend the time to fly there. And that could get old after a while. Number 3, matter making. Now this isn't really a popular superpower, but I think it's a really useful one. What it is, you would just think of something and it will appear right in front of you. You could be like, oh, I wish I had a new ball strode. Well, good thing I have superpowers. Boom. Or you can be like this. I want a drink. Or you can have something different to drink. 1893 citrus cola. Or I can want the white-faced shelves and truck. No, I'm not gonna. I don't have enough money to buy it just for this video. You could also make people. You can make your loved ones just by thinking about them. But you would have to imagine them in the time period that you want. You can make them old, young, or just the right age you remember. Number 2, teleportation. Teleportation. With teleportation, you could travel anywhere in an instant, unlike flying. I don't want to walk all the way up there. What? Oh, look, we're here. And I'm not talking about like destroying all my atoms and reassembling them with other atoms somewhere else. I'm talking about like literally warping time and space to put yourself in another position. Whatever. I mean, you could just teleport anywhere. You could teleport here, here, or here. And also when I teleport, my inertia would disappear. That means if I'm in a moving car and I teleport somewhere else, it wouldn't be like that. So it would be more like this. That's not fun. And the number 1 best superpower ever is telekinesis. With telekinesis, not only can you lift up other things, you could also lift up yourself. So it would just be like flying. You would have 2 powers in 1. Aaron. You could also make people move with telekinesis, so it would also be like mind control. And if you really concentrate, you can separate the individual elements of a substance. Like water, you can separate the hydrogen and the oxygen. Boom. Now this is the hydrogen, and this is the oxygen. Notice how there's more hydrogen than oxygen. H2O, 2 times as much. Just don't strike a match. No! Oh yeah. Improvisation at its best.
James, come here. Come on. Come on, Kissy. Come on.
Come on, I didn't even like you anyway. Train. Yeah. Blah. Whoa. Oh, look at that lens flare. And when you punch. Sorry. You could stop Galvor Princep from assassinating French Duke of Arstrif. You could stop Galvor Princep from assassinating the Archduke of France.
Hashtag not sponsored by Under Armour.
Yes.